Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Nick.
Yep.
Brandon.
Hello.
And we're here talking about games.
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, because we got Metroids to talk about this week.
We have a lot of Metroids.
Lots of Metroids. There's many Metroids in captivity.
Numerous. Actually,
Galaxy is
at this point, I think none. I don't know. They change their mind every game.
Sometimes there are some, sometimes there's none, sometimes there's a lot. You know, it just depends on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I share with Nick before we start what happened while he was gone randomly?
What?
No, today what happened while he was while we were waiting on him. I got my first NFT ever, and I didn't even mean to.
How did that happen?
I got an email that told me that I was one of the first people that signed up for the DC newsletter when it first went live. So due to DC FanFest being this week, they're giving away gifts to everyone that were the first 500,000, 100,000, some weird amount. And the first gift that they gave away was literal NFTs of comics.
That's fucking.
So I have a first appearance of the Green Lantern legendary NFT that was just given to me. I don't fucking know.
Well, you can sell it for Ethereum and then exchange that Ethereum for some amount of money. And then
probably.
Probably not a lot. I don't know how NFTs work. I just think it's money laundering, but for fancy people.
I think you're probably correct. Although this does look kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying Brandon is now a fancy people?
Well, yeah, you know how back in the day to launder money, people would have to spend $3 million on the Mona Lisa and then be like, hey, I bought this for $3 million. You should buy it for $1 billion. And they're like, yeah, that checks out. That tracks. And then they sold it for $1 billion. And then that cycle kind of continued. It's the same thing, but now just with digital pictures of melting faces of monkeys and shit. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, this one's just Hal Jordan. I own Hal Jordan.
You you theoretically own Hal Jordan.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Metroid, big fan of that. Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
I just got my copy of Dread today, actually, the 13th.
Oh, good.
Or the 12th.
We can spoil it now.
Don't you dare. Do not. I got the collector's edition from Target, and they were just like, what if we didn't give it to you on release day? And I was like, that sounds great, actually. So it was
You're like, yeah, I really did not want to use this weekend to play Metroid.
Yeah, no, not at all. Why would I want to spend 48 hours playing a game I've been waiting 19 years for? That's fucking bonkers. And
thank God that Monday was a holiday, so at least I didn't have to rely on getting it that day.
Oh, yeah. I probably would have gotten it yesterday if not for the Italian menace that was Christopher Columbus accidentally coming to America. I would have got my game a day earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top of that, I didn't even know if I was going to buy it, and I've played it more than you, Nick.
You have, but that's not a fair comparison to make because I physically did not have the game.
Anyways, let's talk about what makes this Metroid great.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I haven't played it yet. I literally came home, ate dinner, and then I was like, podcast.
Like, it is time. So, I will say, this Metroid is nothing like any of the recent Metroids. Not like Fusion, Zero Mission, Metroid Other M, Samus Returns. Closest Metroid game that this is to is Super Metroid. Hands down.
Love that.
It's good. Is that why it's different? No, I'm joking.
I love Zero Mission.
You did say Other M in there, so I just.
But I also said Zero Mission, which is my favorite Metroid.
I actually can't wait to talk because spoilers. It's one of the games I played and finished this week. I can't wait to talk about that with you because I also fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So.
I love it. But what I will say about Dread is that there's Nick, there's no hand holding in this game.
There isn't. That's why I was lost as fuck, and I was like, Mike, I don't know what the fuck to do.
I love that. That's honestly that's perfect because that's what I want from that game.
Yeah, there's no Adam, where should I go? Adam doesn't give a fuck where you go. Zero fucks. Nobody cares. There's no little blinking beacons to tell you where to go.
Oh, like in Zero Mission.
Yeah, there's literally nothing here.
Not even like
missions
head
like
in this general direction.
missions like you just got missiles. May I suggest murdering Kraid? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's good. I can do that.
Yeah, no, it's just like there you go. Just you're on your own. So you got that. The bosses, I know Brandon hasn't played too many of them yet.
I've only fought 2.
Yeah, the bosses, the first one's not too bad, and the second one is not too bad. But in terms of like difficulty, like the bosses are very much like they don't fuck around because they're very like you need to memorize their patterns, and every time you get hit, we're gonna take off an energy tank. At least. At least. Like
yeah, I was 3 hits and dead into the second phase of boss number 2. And I was just like, wow. I didn't get hit at all the first phase. I went in with 3 energy tanks. I took 3 hits and I was fucking dead.
And just for laughs, I'll throw this in there because I thought I was highly entertained by this. So there's one boss I was in, and I just got into like another phase, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I still have like half my life left, but I'm like, I don't want to risk it. I've already fought this boss like 4 times. I'm like, let me scan in the Samus Metroid because it will like give me some energy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so that way I don't have to worry about it. I'm like, I bought these amiibo, I might as well use them. It gave me 50 energy.
Oh.
Yikes.
Half a tank.
I was like, this is not even helpful.
I thought it's supposed to fill you. I thought on the back it says it fills 1 energy tank a day.
It maybe like I think it just says it gives you energy, and yeah, that's all I got. 50 energy. They're like, you've had 50 energy replenished. I mean, this was not helpful.
That's not even worth
helpful. It. I mean, you do when you scan it for the first time, you get a free energy tank.
Okay, cool. I'm with that.
So that's nice. But in terms of like the energy replenishment, not useful. I got more energy. Funny enough, I ended up like doing a nice hit on the boss and ended up getting energy replenishment from the boss, which pushed me back all the way up to full health. So I was like, oh, I didn't even need this anyways, and not to mention it wasn't helpful. So yeah. So that was my experience with that aspect of it.
Nice.
I will say though, at least trailer wise, because we kind of touched about it last week. Everything we've seen in the trailers, so far is like very early in the game.
Oh wow!
Like very early in the game. Like yeah. So I don't consider to be like. So I know we were talking about like how spoilery the trailers are, and yeah, it kind of would have been nice to go in the game and not seen those things. But in retrospect, also knowing that it's like maybe not even the first quarter of the game, like it's probably even sooner than that. Like it's not really forecasting stuff that's like closer to the middle or end.
Okay,
so
I like that.
Yeah, so that's really nice. In terms of how it plays, it's very fast. It's definitely like much more like reflexive, like Samus, where you kind of just have to be very aware. Like I said, she is like a damage, like she just gets murdered by everything. She has to be like super aware of like where she is. The game's not very punishing though. Like if you die, like there's lots of checkpoints.
Yeah.
So the boss ones are like right before the bosses. The Emmys ones are like right before you go in the Emmy zone. So it's not too bad. I will say though, I was saying to Brandon before the podcast, but like last week when there was all the hype, like, oh my god, the Emmys are so hard to dodge. I mean, they're not easy.
No.
Like, don't get me wrong. But like I was telling Brandon, I got a video on my Switch. I literally dodged an Emmy 3 times in a row.
There's actually a video I want to share with you guys too of one of my friends just having a fucking hell of a time fighting the purple one.
The worst one for me, I think, was the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to. So when you get to the Emmys, like when you get them, so you probably have seen it if you've seen some video of it so far.
Yeah.
But you have to go fight. To beat the Emmys, you have to go fight the Mother Brain looking thing so you can get the Omega Cannon.
Yeah.
And then it lets you do like a special sequence where you have to like, first you have to blast off its like face shield.
Yeah.
And then you have to like charge up a shot and like blast its core or whatever. But the thing is, when you're blasting off the face shield, if you like stop and like move, like the face shield replenishes.
Oh.
So you have like very little time to do it. You have to do it in like one like stance. So if
Okay.
you're like moving around, like it's gonna like replenish itself. So if you find yourself in like a tight corridor, you aren't gonna be able to shoot it off, and it's gonna kill you. So it's like you have to be very like sometimes as a puzzle in itself, like where can I get a good straightaway to fight the enemy, and then how can I get away from it afterwards?
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of a neat aspect of it. So you have that stuff going on. Oh, and the other thing I want to touch on, this is not like spoiler at all, but just kind of like follow up from E3 because it just kind of like I finished the game and I was like, wait, they never talked about this. So, because if you remember at E3, like the director for the Metroid series is like, yeah, Samus's suit looks a little different. Like, we'll explain it in the game.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't ever explain it.
No?
So, no. So, I guess there's like a one line thing from like Nintendo on the website, like the Metroid website, that it explains it. And it's basically like, so after Fusion, like, well, in Fusion, like you remember they took off those bits of Samus's suit, basically all the metal parts.
Yeah.
And so between Fusion and now in Dread, like the metal parts are growing back, like organically.
Oh.
So that's why the suit looks different. And eventually, like theoretically, as time continues, it will fully regrow back into the original Metroid suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my question is like, because my understanding of it was like Samus was kind of like just attached to her suit now since it was like organic. Is that the case?
No, so it's like so the fusion suit is like the layer above the Zero suit.
Yeah.
You got to think about it in like layers. Is
Well,
probably the best
yeah,
way.
I wasn't sure because like when they like when you kind of explained it in for Fusion, like they're like, oh, they had to take off a piece of her suit because she got infected. Like my understanding was always that like the Zero suit almost like kind of clung to her and then was like attached to her organically.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I kind of think it's one of those things. It's like if she's unconscious, they just can't take off the suit too.
Yeah.
But I think that might have been like part of the issue. Like she was unconscious, so because if I mean she was awake, you think she'd just be able to like make it dematerialize or whatever she does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You don't ever like when you die in this game, she still explodes into Zero Suit Samus.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean that aspect's still there. So
Mm-hmm.
you got that. What else is it? There's lots to like explore in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's got you going around like all different places, and it's definitely like not linear at all. So I'd say in a brand and kind of like just a good mindset to have, like when you get the game and you're playing, it's like when you get a new item, kind of plan to like go to another area because exploring the area that you're in, generally I
Okay.
found it not to be helpful. Not always, but generally speaking, like it's trying to nudge you somewhere else, and where they're nudging you to is not necessarily right next to where you are. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And there was a hint that I saw on Reddit today. I didn't use it, but it might be helpful for you. But like if you, when you get a new item, if you're on your map, you can highlight, like let's say you got the morph ball bomb, okay?
Yeah.
And you look at the map and you can see like, oh, these are morph ball bomb blocks. So you're like, these are the blocks I can break. If you highlight them with the map cursor and press Y, it will highlight all the morph ball bomb blocks for you on the map.
Oh.
So you could be like, oh, like these might be areas that I want to look at, or maybe there's something here, or something unlockable, or something. So it might give you like some direction of where to look.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are getting very lost in this game, from what I've seen. So you'll probably be fine because you played enough Metroid games and you played
Yeah.
Super Metroid, so you have like a better idea. But yeah, no, some people are just not equipped for the exploration stuff because it can be easy to get lost. I mean, even I had a couple moments where I'm like, I don't know where the fuck they want me to go.
I mean, yeah, I feel like going into Dread, it probably would have been beneficial to like load up Super for some people because it kind of gets you in the mood of like, all right, there's certain visual cues on the level that will tip me off to maybe that's breakable somehow.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And some of it is just not obvious either.
Yeah.
Just kind of like they do. So, and just the other thing too is just like, and you know this just from playing Metroid games, it's like if you get lost, like just fucking try to blow up everything.
Oh yeah. I think
Ceilings,
like when in
floors.
doubt, I just do like a power bomb and see what happens.
Yeah, power bombs are nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like most Metroid games, it's very end of the game
Oh
kind
yeah,
of thing.
I was shocked how late in the game in Zero Mission you get them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Like
because they were never in the original game, so they added it all at the end.
yeah, like that, and like I felt like you get super missiles super late in the game as well.
Do you get them? Do you get them after you beat Mother Brain? In that one
No,
too?
no. I had found like one or two, I guess expansions, whatever you want to call them, prior to fighting. So I had like 4 super missiles going into fighting Mother Brain, and like 150 regular boys.
Not too shabby.
I almost completely missed the screw attack. I found it by accident. I was like, let's get it. I fucking love the screw attack.
Screw attack is one of the most fun things in any of the Metroid games.
Yeah.
What else is there about Dread that I want to say? Story had. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say that the story had some twists in it that I didn't expect.
Okay.
And it was very good. It went in a very pleasing direction.
Gotcha. I'm assuming, and I don't know if this could be considered a spoiler or not, but I'm assuming this is not the end of the 2D series. Because I've been seeing people's like completion times. It's like, see you next mission. And I'm like, all right, well, canonically, this is last in the timeline, like even past Prime. So, like, technically.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, they've been pretty clear that they're like, this is the end of, like, you know, the story that started in Metroid 1.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the end of, like, 2D Metroids.
Yeah.
Or Samus's story. And I think that's, from what I've seen, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if anything, after the success, because obviously this game is selling wonderfully in all the different places, I feel like before they make like another 2D like proper Metroid game, they're probably going to redo Super Metroid in this game's engine. It just makes the most sense to me.
I could see them doing that. Yeah. Although, interestingly, it's kind of like what we talked about, like before. Like if they do Super Metroid, like if they do Super Metroid in this engine, it would be almost purely like a visual upgrade.
Yeah, which is fine.
It would, yeah, because they wouldn't have to do too much to like touch it up. I mean, they probably would end up adding like Aeon abilities because that's what they did with Samus Returns.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because at this point, that's the only 2D Metroid. I mean, Fusion, but like Fusion. That's like the only 2D Metroid that hasn't been like retouched from back in the day. So like, I feel like that just makes the most sense.
Yeah. It's really popular too.
Yeah.
And judging by the way that this has sold, like I'm sure Mercury Steam's just like holding out their hands begging for another Metroid game.
Oh yeah.
So, because I mean, obviously they do a really good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has to be their most successful game ever.
And, I would say so.
Because I mean, what else have they done? They did that one Castlevania 3DS game.
Well, I thought they did all the Castlevania games. Yeah, they work on all the Castlevania games. I think they helped the development of the like Lords of Shadow. Like they was like half Kojima and half them.
Well, they made the 3DS one because there's 2 separate Lords of Shadows games.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think they helped out on like the main console.
The main one as well.
Yeah, I know they did the 3DS games because they're listed as co-developed Castlevania Lords of Shadow with Alchemic Productions. Co-developed with Kojima Productions for Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate, and then Lords of Shadow 2. Because only other things they've made was American McGee Presents Scrapland, and that was on the Xbox.
Well,
some game called Zombies that came out on the Nokia 6600 series and N7 or N7.
I'm sure that sold really well.
Clive Barker's Jericho, which was mainly Codemasters. And then obviously Metroid Samus Returns, like we said, and then they made some game called Space Lords, which is a online free-to-play game that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
So, whatever that is.
I'm sure at least one of those were popular.
Probably the Castlevania games and the Metroid games.
Yeah.
Well, I know the 3DS game was shit.
Mirror of Fate.
The Castlevania one? I heard that it was alright.
I heard that it was very mechanically sound.
Yes.
Like as far as Metroidvania
That's
games,
the nicest
like,
way of saying it's whatever.
Yeah, that's the nicest way of saying like, hey, you're about to have a shit sandwich, but the way it's presented to you, very good.
Very good.
Very good.
They made Lords of Shadow 2 completely.
Yes.
That looks like it was a resounding success.
Was it?
That was very meh. It was awful.
The PC Metacritic was 58, but the 360 one was 70. So,
yeah, I think it launched in a bad state on PC initially. And all anyone ever remembers is the launch until you can buy it for $5 on Steam.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then people are like, hey, you know what? You should actually check this game. Wonder why it didn't sell that well. And everyone's like, well, that's because...
I think the best thing to happen to Mercury Steam was like, hey, we really know how to make a Metroidvania game, but we don't know how to make a Metroidvania game. And then they were like, hey, well, what if we got your peanut butter, right? And then added Yoshio Sakamoto's jelly to it.
I'd like to just think that Nintendo was like, listen, we know you know how to make games, but you don't know how to make games. So how about we help you make games?
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I think that's why they had him do Samus Returns first, because they're like, honestly, no matter what you make, it's not going to be worse than the Game Boy game.
No, honestly.
I don't think it'd be even possible.
I mean, they could have made the original Metroid. That'd be the only thing that'd be worse.
True.
But like, the original Game Boy game wasn't horrible for a Game Boy game, but it's like that one just did not hold up well. So I mean, it gave them a nice framework to work from.
Does anything on Game Boy hold up well other than like Tetris?
Mario Land 2.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that one.
And Link's Awakening, also excellent.
Link's Awakening does hold up.
Okay, those two are.
I don't even like.
You don't like the Zelds.
I don't like the Zelds, but I can admit when Link's Awakening is a decent game.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We need more people like you that are like, you know what, I don't like this game, but I know it's good.
I know this is a good game.
I just don't like it.
I think the best thing to happen to Metroid though is Nintendo being like, "Hey, next level games, yeah, can you just give that right back to us? We're gonna give you this Luigi game. You go do Luigi.
Yeah, you go do Luigi.
The big boys are gonna go do this, but you can have Luigi.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if Mercury Steam is like happy doing Metroid games, which I would be surprised if they would. Like Nintendo, this is usually how the relationships with Nintendo start. Like you did as good. Here, you can do something else now. So
now they're 2 for 2, as it were.
Yeah, because I mean, those Castlevania games couldn't have done much for them.
No. Because looking at the scores on Wikipedia for Metroid Dread, the lowest it has is like a 4 out of 5, and like everything else is like
who gave it that score? I need to know.
VG247 gave it a 4 out of 5.
I wonder why.
But like I'm looking at like the legit places,
Mhm.
And when I say legit places, don't laugh when I start naming the places that I call
IGN,
legit places.
GameSpot.
IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Game Informer 9 out of 10. GameSpot 8 out of 10. Eurogamer Essential. I don't understand how their ratings work. Destructoid, if anybody still goes there, 8.5 out of 10. Computer Games Monthly, didn't realize that was still a magazine. 9 out of 10. Games Radar Plus.
Yeah, I wonder if Computer Games Monthly is rating the emulated version.
Yeah, fuck. Can I just real quick fuck Kotaku for that article? They're fucking assholes. I hate them.
I don't agree. Like, what was wrong with the article per se? I thought they were just talking about how it was easy to emulate things that are on the Switch.
They were specifically, if you like went into the article, there was a certain section where they were like, "Yes, pirate this game."
They specifically said pirate this game?
They were like, if you don't have a way to dump this game on your computer, just go ahead and download it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
That doesn't make any sense. That seems highly illegal.
If I could go off on just real quick, we're gonna go right back to our regular program.
Because the only thing I saw about the actual article, right, was them saying like, obviously it's a Kotaku article, so I just skimmed it. But the only thing I saw was them being like, you know, the Switch is such an underpowered machine that it's possible to emulate damn near everything that comes to it, and you have a better experience. And it's also good for preserving these games that Nintendo doesn't necessarily want to preserve, such as their Mario 128-like game. Like, you can't preserve that, but you can preserve these, or the Mario game that they said Mario dies on this date. You can't get these Mario remakes for the Switch and everything. I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, I get that all of that makes sense, and I totally agree with it. I didn't see them outright say, yeah, so go pirate this.
They put out a addendum to the story on 1010 that basically they were like, hey, the words we used, you guys understood that by many readers as a direct suggestion to illegally download this just released game. We regret this interpretation. Kotaku believes that emulation is a vital part of the world of gaming, not less when it comes to preservation, while not directly encouraging anyone to break the law and download games they have not purchased. We believe our readers are intelligent adults capable of making such choices for themselves, independently of us. But, like, literally, I'm trying to find the snippet that I was looking at, because they were legit, like the wording was exactly that. Like, hey, like, if you can't purchase this game, there's other ways to get it.
Go steal it.
And I'm like, listen, I'm all for games preservation, big fan of it. But when there's a game series that came out, that the last entry hasn't been out in 19 years, and the new one comes out, and like big companies like Nintendo and whatnot look at game sales to decide, like, hey, should we continue this? They are directly looking at sales. And not only that, but like if you go back to the days of the R4 car and the DS, like other companies saw how rampant piracy was, that they're just like, we're just not going to make that game.
Yeah. And honestly, too, it's bullshit, because it was like, even that stuff aside, which is all great points.
Yeah.
But it's like the day the game came out, they're like, go pirate it.
Yeah, but like right here, so I found the exact screenshot from thing. It says, released yesterday and developed by Mercury Steam, Metroid Dread is the awaited 2D return to the Metroid series. You can read our full review here. The short answer, it's a solid game with some nice-looking visuals and surprisingly tricky boss fight. It is a Switch exclusive, as you might expect, but all you need is a Switch emulator and a decently powerful PC, and you can play Dread on your computer right now. I'm sorry, I don't think there's a lot of that's not very open to interpretation.
You
are straight up like, hey, like, this game's a Switch exclusive, but like, you got a computer and a way to install emulators. Rock out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, don't do anything illegal. Wink.
Yeah, no, there's no reading between the lines.
No. Okay, so I didn't see that part. That must have been at the very, very end or something. Because, like, I just skimmed over it and I saw the thing that was talking about preservation. I was like, Kotaku had a good take for once. Color me fucking surprised.
It was a good take that was covering up a bad take.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I find it hard to preach preservation in a game that's only been out for a day.
Well, that too. Like, it's
no.
Go to Walmart right now and buy it.
Yeah,
I get that.
What they're saying is, and what Brandon I think was about to say too, is like when they talk about emulation and downloading things like that, like what you're talking about there is like, hey, like, I can't. There's no physical way for me to buy the game Snatcher.
Yeah.
Download it and run an emulator. There is no physical way, lest I go out and buy a copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee for $150, which is a bonkers price to pay for a game.
It's gone up that much now?
I think it's like between $150 to $200, like depending on what kind of copy you get. But like, there's certain games like Fire Emblem. What's the GameCube one?
Path of Radiance.
Path of Radiance. Like, to find that game.
You know what I found yesterday?
To want to play that game. God, did you find God?
No. I found Cubivore. So close.
Okay, yeah. So like, that's what I'm saying.
But do you know how much that game was?
Oh well,
yeah,
like,
we talked about it multiple times.
That is like the infamous game.
How much is it now, Brandon? What did you find it for?
Drum roll.
I know. Or maybe the number's just so high we broke him.
Maybe.
It's like error.
No. Sorry. No. Okay, I didn't hear anything you just said because someone came to my.
How much is Cubivore?
$400.
Yeah, so that's disgusting. So like, if you want to play Cubivore, download that shit. There's no reason why you should pay $400 to play Cubivore. 100%, I'm with that, right? Hell, if you own a physical copy of a game and you want to dump that bitch on the computer because, hey, things deteriorate, I also get that. Go for it. But when you're straight up advocating for people to like go and illegally download a game just because, like, oh, I can run this game in 4K on my computer that, by the way, wasn't made to run in 4K, like, that's fantastic. But the best you're going to get is not like legit 4K out of this game because it was meant to run on a 720p Switch that runs at 30 frames a second. So like, what are you going to get?
I mean, I think the game runs at 60 frames a second, except for the cutscenes. What someone said.
So interesting enough, because I actually did look into some of the emulation properties, because a lot of Switch emulation, and I'll back away from this topic in just a minute, but a lot of Switch emulation has to do with you dumping your literal own Switch account onto your PC and the code that's on your actual Switch itself. That way, it's still technically the Switch that you own. You're just running it through another means, which is a really interesting form of emulation, in my opinion. But the thing here, when looking into it, you can actually run it in true 4K. The way that it runs through is a pass through, and it uses super sampling.
Yeah.
As well as like basically the opposite of DLSS, where you're up-resing the textures, and they actually look quite good.
But what I'm
and
saying
it does
is,
look like a true 4K game when you do that sort of thing. It doesn't look bad, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't look like someone just took something and blew it up to a massive size. It actually looks good, in my opinion.
In my opinion, what you get from that is like when somebody makes like minute ramen, but then they add like eggs and like real meat to it to make it look a little bit more appealing. You're like, oh, it does look better, but like it's not, But I digress. But yeah, so I found that like a funny thing we could veer off on real quick. But I'm actually excited too because my brother, who is a big Metroid head, does not like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like contrary to popular belief, he's like, I do not like this game. And I'm like, that's actually crazy. Because like I haven't seen one person that had like I've seen people who have had like critical takes of it of like, hey, like the Emmy shit's really annoying, but otherwise it's a really fun game. Or like Emmys are annoying, but like once I got it down, it was fine.
I think Brandon and I were talking about it before the podcast. But the Emmys, like they're not really like scary. Like the game, it's like it doesn't give you like the sense of dread that they're saying. It's just like they're just there. They're almost like another puzzle.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, but it's not just like, oh no, I'm terrified that there's an Emmy here. It's just like they're just another thing I have to deal with. And it's like, whatever. Like, and sometimes it just like when you enter an Emmy area, it's not like they're always in the same spot.
Yeah.
So like I've had times where like I've entered an Emmy room and like Emmy's just right there fucking waiting for you and be like, bye bitch. Because as soon as you enter, the door's locked for like a couple seconds, and you're fucked. So there's nothing you can do. Like you couldn't avoid it coming into it because Emmy was already there. There's nowhere for you to go. So those suck. But then sometimes you come in and Emmy's in the other room, and you're like, oh okay, I'm fine. I got time to like figure things out. So you got that. But even when she's chased, like being chased by Emmy did not feel equivalent to me like being chased by the SAX. Like I never felt like that. Like the SAX like chase things were always scary as fuck for me. The Emmy chase scenes, not so much. And I don't know if it's because like you do have the opportunity to get out, and I'm just like, let me take my chances and see, or because like because one of the things I mentioned, like the game does really well. Like there's very good checkpoint system. So if it gets you, you lost maybe like 30 seconds or a minute. Like it's not like it's horrible.
Which is fine because I feel like there's been times in other Metroid games where like I've died and lost like 3 hours. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a couple spots where I know in Fusion there's a couple bosses where like if you get fucked, like you get bounced so far back. Or Super Metroid, because God forbid, like that game you didn't save, like you die, you're going back to the last time you saved.
Yeah.
And that's just like, well, you're fucked. Like, good luck. So, because I feel like I had that happen to me once with like Ridley or something. Like I went a very long time without saving and walked into like Ridley's room, and Ridley's like, "You did." You're like, "Oh damn it!" Like the last time I saved was even in like Ridley's area, like it was back on like Norfair or wherever. Like damn it. So yeah, I mean the checkpoint system's like very forgiving. And like I said, like with the bosses, a lot about getting fat. What did your brother say he didn't like? Did he tell you?
Let me go to messages he sent me. So he said that. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know if we have that many. Here we go. He said the Emmy sequences aren't really fun. He said like in Fusion they don't know how to balance attacks. So if you get hit once, it's like half your energy. The boss fights haven't been really impactful so far, and it just in general doesn't feel good. And he said some of the sequences with the Emmys are like the SAX sequences in Fusion, but like far worse. So.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I wouldn't say they were worse. Like I never really had that issue because a lot of times, like, there's no like set way to get through like the Emmy zones, so it's just kind of like just run in like a general area kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you'll see when you play. Like, it's definitely different. I feel like than what you got in Fusion.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you want to talk about with Metroid Dread? Because I know we talked about
No, not necessarily. I just think it's a pretty good game. Lots of fun.
Pretty good game.
It's a 2 thumbs up game. Yeah, no, it's really good. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's anything else in particular I wanted to say about it. Did you want to talk about your Metroid stuff then, Nick? Your other Metroid stuff?
Yeah, sure. So I know I think I talked about it last week, right? Where I was playing Super Metroid. Yeah. I talked about that. So I did end up finishing that. Not really much. Like I know I've talked about that game before in the past when I first played it, I believe. It's still probably bar none my favorite Metroid game. There's just nothing else like it in the series to me. Just big fan of it all around. The level design, the music, all that fun stuff. So it was definitely worth going back and playing again. And playing it on the virtual console was definitely just like super good to do because you had like save states and you could rewind and all that fun stuff. So if you made
the rewind is so helpful, and I always forget that it's there too.
If you made a little oopsie poopsie, you just roll back 30 seconds and be like, just kidding.
You feel like, oh, Mario did jump off that ledge. Oh.
Yeah. But the one that I do have new stuff to talk about is I finished Zero Mission.
Love Zero Mission. This was your first time playing it, wasn't it?
Yes, because I've played Metroid 1 before, which is Zero Mission is the remake of 1. Just makes it a lot more palatable and good.
A lot more palatable.
Yes, and actually makes it like super quick too because I beat Super Metroid Saturday night, and I think like I was halfway through the game in like 2 hours. Like Zero Mission, I was like halfway through because I think my clear time was like just under 4 hours, and
which is long even for Zero Mission.
Yeah, and because like I remember like before I went to bed that night, like I was fighting Ridley. I was like, already? Like that's like Ridley's like one of the last things you typically do in a Metroid game.
Yeah.
And like I also fucked him up. I fucked Ridley up. Like literally this has probably been the easiest instance of Ridley in any game that I've played so far. Because like he would fly above me and I would just lay in one with missiles and he just melted. It was great. Yeah. I will say the gameplay changes that they made to it that were more inspired by like because I think the game came out at the same time as like Fusion, right? Like
it was like 2 years after Fusion.
Oh, it was 2 years after. Like a lot of the gameplay changes that they made to Fusion, like the grabbing onto like a ledge, and I forget what was the other one or something else. But they had like power bombs and stuff from like Super Metroid, which wasn't in the original Metroid. I don't know if super missiles were the original Metroid as well.
No. They were
no, so they add super missiles to it. Then like all like the suit upgrades and whatnot. So it just like I said,
epilogue area.
Yeah, it adds a lot of padding to the original game's story. It introduces a lot of things to like kind of introduce you to Samus in a better way. So like anytime somebody's like, "Hey, where should I start with Metroid?" I'm like, Zero Mission. You're gonna get a lot more out of it. And the epilogue area I did not know was a thing.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah. I never knew that was a thing. Because you know what's funny, too? Because I never really remembered where Zero Suit Samus came from originally. I just assumed... Yeah. I just assumed I was like, oh, well, it was just, this is just her in her Zero Suit. So that whole epilogue area, I was not privy to. And that was really cool. I thought that was a lot of fun. And actually pretty difficult. Going through there. Because like there was a few times where like I was getting caught. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And like they like the space pirates because you crash land back on the same planet, I believe.
Yep.
And you're going through a space pirate ship or base or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're running around with nothing, just in her Zero Suit and her gun, and you gotta sneaky snake your way all around, and you just gotta dodge space pirates. And there's been so many times where like I just tipped off the space pirates where I was, and here I was like Benny Hill going in circles, going through one door, going through the next door, trying to like run away from them. But then you eventually do get your suit back and just start laying into everybody, and it's great.
I did just for like the last time I played it. I don't remember which part of that. Like it was definitely in like the ruins part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept on getting irritated because I kept on like setting them off.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Well, there's no fucking way you can get through this whole thing in stealth. And I looked at a YouTube video, and it's possible to go through the entire section.
You know
100% in stealth.
what caught me? So you know the segments where it's like the eyes with the light shining, and you have to like cover yourself from the security lights?
Yeah.
So what I didn't realize is the first time I went through there, I got caught because Samus's character model, her feet extend just enough out of the bottom that it catches the light. So I was like, how the fuck does it see me? And I look and I have like an inch of like my toe sticking out, and it's like bop. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised this game is as precise as it is. I will say though, it's funny. I randomly went into the last boss. Like I was just like exploring around that epilogue area after I got my suit, and I just randomly stumbled into Meta Ridley, which I assume that's who that was. There's like a metal robot Ridley.
Yeah, I forget what they call him. It's some sort of like robot Ridley thing.
Yeah, fucked him up real quick. Ran out of there. I will say I thought it was funny because like most of the game was like super easy to play through, and then you get into like Mother Brain's area, and they're just like, "Hey, remember how hard the first game was?" And then they just fucking turn that shit up, and it's hard as fuck again, trying to traverse like going through the different corridors with the Metroids. And then when you finally get to Mother Brain, like I always call them SpaghettiOs, but like those red circles that fly at you, like they're flying at you. There's a little turret shooting at you, and you got to break the glass and just load into Mother Brain's face. And she's also shooting you with like an eye beam, which I forgot was a thing. And
I hate that battle.
Yeah,
so
it's like that. It's funny how like that whole game is like a breath of fresh air in comparison to the original game. But like in that instance, I was like, this is the same fucking game. I am getting just as angry. But I cleared that in one shot as compared to when I first played the game, and I did not clear it in like the first 10. And then they're like, oh, hey, guess what? Time to escape. And then you get shot down, and it goes in that little epilogue part. But definitely my favorite way of playing Metroid 1 from now on. It's a super fun game, super quick. Like I said, like I played it in under 4 hours, and you had mentioned that was even like fairly long.
Yeah, usually I'm sub 2 hours when I play it.
Yeah, because like I mean that was my first time playing it, and I was sub 4, so I'm sure if I played it again like right now, I could probably get like my time.
You guys think I could do it in 15 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, all you gotta do is slip into your
time warp,
your small your micro universe. It's funny too because I did play it on my original SP, which I actually now have to get a battery for because when I was playing it, I noticed like I like kind of re-gripped the SP with my hands, and like it shut off and then turned back on. I was like, that's kind of weird. So I finished playing Zero Mission, and I turned my SP over to see maybe if like the battery cover was loose or something.
No, it exploded.
No, the battery was actually starting to belly out because it's the original.
So it had maybe exploded.
Yeah, so it was the original battery that came with the fucking system 20 years ago. So it didn't explode, but when I would put pressure on it, it would be like, whoa, don't like that. So I went out, I'm buying, Amazon has new ones that are actually slightly larger, like a slightly larger battery size.
Oh,
nice.
And I will be getting those actually tomorrow. That comes in the mail tomorrow. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do the battery, I might as well do everything else. So I actually have a new clamshell case coming for it. And then I was diving deeper into SP modding hell, and they actually make IPS screens for it. So I think at one point...
That sounds nuts.
Right? So I think at one point I might swap out, because I have an AGS 001, so the screen's fucking dog dick. So at some point I will be probably swapping that out with an IPS screen, just because, like, why the fuck not?
Why not?
And because I actually...
How much did that set you back?
The case and because I just bought a new case. The case was like $20.
Mm-hmm.
The IPS screen I haven't purchased yet, but from what I can see, it's like between $50 to $60.
That's not bad at all.
Because it's the screen, and then it's like a smaller PCB that kind of is like an adapter.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously IPS screens didn't exist in 2002. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna do that eventually. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right away. I gotta see. But like after playing Zero Mission, I remembered that like I love my SP, and I have a bunch of SP games, so I might run it back and start playing like Mega Man Battle Network and whatnot on it, just to have it bring around with me. Yeah, I just the form factor of the SP just makes it super fucking portable, like, and I just love it for that. So like, I'm just gonna carry one around with me, I think, for a little bit until I get bored of it again. But yeah, definitely love Zero Mission. fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I look forward to playing Dread whenever we get done wrapping up this podcast tonight.
What if this podcast never ends?
Oh, shit.
Didn't think of that, did you, Nick?
No, I did not.
It's the spooky month. Anything could happen.
I
Your
mean,
Metroid Dread could be haunted.
Honestly, like, I after the, if we got to like the 3-hour mark, I'd just be like, oh no, my computer died. And you'd be like, what are you talking about, Nick? I still hear you. And then you'd just be like, pudding, and I'd be gone.
The only other thing I just will touch on before Brandon can spill into his games is that, it's super brief, but my fucking Pro controller has drift.
Nice.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. It's really bad. It's very annoying. So, and I looked into it. Apparently it's a thing. Like, I didn't realize it's not as common as, like, the Joy-Con drift. But, yeah. No, it's like it's on my right stick. And I, like, did not realize it for a long time. Because they sent out a patch last year to, like, expand, like, the drift area.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, like, the camera, it's on my right stick. So the camera on, like, 3D games will just go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, what's going on? Why is everything spinning around? And then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I finally realized what it was, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's ridiculous. So, yes, that was my brief soapbox. Anyways, Brandon, what have you been playing?
Games?
Yeah?
That's it. No, I'm joking. So I played Battlefield 2042.
Uh-huh.
I got to play a little bit of it on PC. It's,
What's the future like?
it's Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. While playing it, I was just like, is this just Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3? It doesn't feel futuristic that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, like, we have a robot with a turret on it, but, like, you really gotta search for something like that. Otherwise, it's just tanks and cars and shit like that. And it's all normal stuff. It doesn't feel futuristic. So, whatever. Yeah, it's fine. It's Battlefield. It was alright. Had some fun playing it. It had some really neat things, like a rocket that actually takes off in the middle of the match. So, like, the smoke from the bottom of the rocket taking off and everything, like, fills up the entire, like, area where it took off. So then it, like, changes the landscape of the battle, because it's, like, much more smoky and harder to see your enemies if they're hiding over there or whatever. That's pretty neat. There's also, like, hurricanes and stuff that go off, and that shit's cool, too. But otherwise, it's just Battlefield. The best thing I could say about it is it's better than Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 already, and there's only one level you could play. So that's good. It feels more like past Battlefields, like 3 and 4. So it feels like a good game is what I'm trying to say. But it's Battlefield. That's really all there is to it. It's just Battlefield. It's fine. It's just inoffensive and nothing really matters. I don't know. Played Far Cry 6. And you know what? Copy and paste exactly what I said for Battlefield here. Like, quite literally, it's more Far Cry. Some people like more Far Cry. I like more Far Cry. It's Far Cry.
Did you play the Tekken cockfighting game?
I did.
Good. Do it for the people.
I won it. I won the Tekken cockfighting game, because if you're playing co-op, you can play against your co-op partner.
Nice.
And also, since I was streaming it, but I was also like on my buddy's stream moderating his chat, I got drops for Far Cry 6 while streaming Far Cry 6.
Nice.
It's fine. It's a good Far Cry game. It's lazy, though. And, like, I think this is, like, the thing that I mentioned while we were playing.
Yeah.
It's fine, and nothing is copied and pasted, but everything feels copy and pasted. Like, you can't see anything that's like, I've seen that building already. I've already been in that building somewhere on the other side of the town. No, it's nothing like that. But, like, the setting's just so kind of bland that everything just feels that way. Nick's fucking dead, apparently.
Probably.
I'm sorry. I saw Nintendo $60 was trending on Twitter, and I looked at the thing, and it's like a bunch of people comparing, like, the price of Metroid Dread to other things because originally it was like somebody memed on it because they're like Nintendo $60 game versus Sony $60, and it was Metroid Dread versus God of War. But now people are just like memeing on him. So like the one that I just saw that made me fucking giggle was Nintendo $60 game versus Ross from Deltarune chuffing back a fat dart. And this game with a huge fucking joint.
I also see where it says Metroid Nintendo $60 versus $60. It's just someone holding.
I'm sorry, just the phrase "chuffing back a fat dart" just killed me. Anyway,
I do like this one: Nintendo $60 game versus KFC's $20 fill-up, which includes a huge ass bucket of chicken, gravy, biscuits, mashed potatoes, and coleslaw.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Nintendo's $60 game versus this cool stick I found. Alright, anyway.
Anyways.
Sorry, I lost it for a second because I'm actually reading some of these now too. But no, Far Cry is just really inoffensive and it's just kind of boring and it just doesn't do anything for me. But also, it when playing it, it's the first ever game I played on my PlayStation 5 that has screen tearing, so that's neat.
Love Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. In co-op, it has screen tearing because something's broken with their co-op, and I'm like positive of it, and it's whatever. Let me talk about the second best game I played all week, though. Nick, have you played this yet? You were the one that was hyped for it.
Metroid Dread?
No.
Oh.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, my dude.
I actually canceled my pre-order.
Really?
Really?
I canceled my pre-order because I was like, this game's gonna be like $15 in no time flat.
It's possible, but I bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw it being played.
It's great. So that's really like a lot of fun. Like I was having so much fun with it. And then I was like, all right, now that I've I labbed some shit out, I fought some really hard CPUs and like made sure I could get the mechanics down, let's play online. And I was like, oh shit, I'm playing the PlayStation 5 version.
Yep.
There is no online, but it's okay because it came with the PS4 version, so I just installed that as well and then played it actually online. No, it's actually a really fun fighting game. Very mechanically sound. I was incredibly surprised with how good this is.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess if you want to play a good fighting game, Nicktoons has you covered. There's many people that complain about the fact that there's like no voice acting.
Doesn't matter.
But apparently the developers were given like a less than shoestring budget to make this. So instead of being like, let's chase after the voice actors, they were like, let's make this game as mechanically fun as humanly possible. So.
Well, I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It is. It is, absolutely.
It's good.
So, yeah, it's good. It's a really good game.
It's better than Smash?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like you can really be like, oh yeah, this is better than Smash. There's way too many things like against it. But there's many things that make it probably a better fighting game than Smash Ultimate.
It's weird to compare the two because you're comparing an indie game to a AAA title from Nintendo.
This game was made by 9 people. Smash is made by over 200.
Yeah.
Well, what if those 9 people were really good?
True.
Mm-hmm. And those 200 people were mostly mediocre. And then you have Sakurai. Although Sakurai could probably take on those 9 people by himself.
Oh yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He would do a he'd do a 2-on-2 and he would be both of his teammates. But no, in general, there's some weird picks for the characters they pick. Some of the maps aren't that good, but the maps that are good are really good and are really well made. And the game feels really good to play. If you want to play something that's like actually feels like a competitive fighting game, this definitely has you covered. It kind of feels like, damn it, I hate saying this. I'm sorry, Nick. Forgive me.
That's fine.
It feels like Melee. If someone was actually trying to make Melee and didn't accidentally make Melee, like Smash Brothers Melee was made.
That's understandable.
But it feels like someone that has the technical know-how put together a game that's fun like the original Melee, but they were going only after that and they didn't have the money to make it like a really solidly graphic-wise and like audio-wise put together game. But if you just want the fighting game mechanics and if you just want to play a good fighting game, it's actually really good.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I get it.
Yeah,
I'll probably buy it when it's like $5.
Yeah, I mean, for you, since it doesn't have like all the stuff that would make you enjoy a Smash Brothers game, such as like the items, the this, that, the other, the wacky
Does it have
stages.
items?
There are no items in this game.
Oh, fuck this game.
I told you it's a actual fighting game, not a
Ugh.
party game.
Ugh. Fine. Maybe when Garfield comes out.
Oh yeah, Garfield did get data mined.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Garfield was data mined to be a DLC character.
That's amazing.
He definitely hates Mondays.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
true.
So probably unveil him on a Monday. Just calling it now.
They would do him so dirty if they did that.
Yeah. It's nasty.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, nothing else?
I just saw the image that Nick was talking about.
Do you mean the one that's in the general chat?
Yep.
Wait, I just saw it pop up on my fucking timeline on Twitter.
Michael, I retweeted it.
Anyways. Is ready to talk about news?
Yeah.
I only have one news. I don't know if you guys had any other news. I only had one news. But it's big news.
Big news?
No, kind of big news. Oh, there's another news. You put another news. We got two news.
I think I put a news in there.
Yeah. Well, I'll say my news first then. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy's coming.
It is coming.
Huh?
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto 3 and it's
Vice City and San Andreas. The three best Grand Theft Auto games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so happy that we're finally, it's Vice City. That's what I'm happy about.
Vice City.
I think the craziest thing about this all, though, is that it's on the Switch, along with everything else. But it's like Nintendo's not had a real Grand Theft Auto game.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
They had Chinatown Wars.
That was a real Grand
It's
Theft Auto.
fine. Yeah. It's mostly
Okay.
good.
You know, I actually have 2 bits of news as well. I just thought about it, so I'll just put that in. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not these. These are my bits of news are better.
A little presumptuous, aren't we?
It's
I
a
know.
little.
But it was Grand Theft Auto Trilogy is coming out this year. I don't remember if it's like rumor or fact, but I saw December 7th as a date. Which seems like an actual time. If it has not already, apparently the other versions are getting pulled from wherever else you can find them digitally.
That's probably
to
for
make
the
room
best
for the
because they're
trilogy.
actually quite bad. The original, because they have the iOS versions right now. If you go buy them anywhere,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're bad.
Yeah, and from what I've read, like this one's just not like it's just a nicer looking version. Like it's nothing like too crazy. Like just some like up-reses and maybe some fixing of the models. So
Yeah, which is fine.
but yeah, so you can play it on all your consoles. It's coming out to everything. So
Okay.
enjoy. I might actually pick it up because I feel like it'd just be stupid just to play this on the Switch.
I
Just for
mean,
giggles.
Playing Vice City anywhere is just the best.
So yeah, it's just be a fun game to fuck around with.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, that's all I got. All right, Nick, you can do your newses.
Yeah. G4 TV has a return date.
It does.
It does. I think they announced this like sometime at some point last year. But so there's an actual return date of November 16th, 2021. So this year, almost a month away.
Mhm.
And originally, I don't know about you guys. I was under the impression that like this was going to be like an internet only thing. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like it was maybe going to be like live on Twitch every day. And all
That's
that.
what I was expecting as well. So
Guess
what are they doing?
motherfucker? It's going to be on linear TV through Verizon, Fios, Cox, and Xfinity TV, while it also stream on Philo, whatever the fuck that is.
What are any of these things that you've just said out loud?
You don't know what Verizon is?
Well, okay, all right. I meant
Verizon's a
to.
telephone company.
I know that, but I meant like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I would expect you to not know what Comcast, because that's kind of like or Xfinity is like a Comcast thing, and that's like a Northeast kind of.
Well, no, I
thing.
actually know of both of those. My
You know
problem
Cox.
is like like, oh, okay, all right.
I know
Cool.
you know Cox, Brandon.
Yeah, because I'm a JoJo fan. Is that why? All right. No, my question, legitimately, is what the fuck are these TV stations like that these companies own? I've never heard of the TV stations that you were talking about. Like, I don't
Well,
get it.
no. Like, it's going to be like if you have Verizon Fios. So if you have Verizon TV, Xfinity TV, Cox Cable, like your regular TV, it's going to be a channel on linear TV. So you don't have to pay extra for it. It's just going to be on linear TV.
All right. If you don't have those, how can you watch it?
Philo, what
the fuck is Philo? That's the one.
Philo is kind of like well, it's exactly like Sling or like YouTube TV, where it's $25 a month and you get 60 plus channels of like live TV. So it's just like a way for you to get TV, and you can add stuff on, like you can add like a movie thing. You can add, so they got like Stars, Epics, and this other movie channels. But yeah, it's $25, and you can like use on like smart TVs and stuff, and you can stream.
Wait. How is that spelled? So I thought I just typed it in, but it's not.
It's like Phil. It's Philo. So PHILO. It's like
okay.
So it has like a bunch of just cable TV networks, which I would have to do the math because like I don't know how much it is. Like 25. Like I don't pay for cable at all.
Yeah.
I would have to see like is $25 a month. Is that the same price as if I were to go through Verizon? Because I have Verizon for my internet, thankfully. If you're into this sort of thing, Philo also has Ryan from Ryan the toy channel on YouTube. They have a channel for him.
Oh, nice.
They also have Crackle TV, Cheddar
News. This is where Game Show Network went. Okay. Nice.
Well, no, like Game Show. It's not where Game Show Network went. It's just accessible through it.
Oh.
So it will be available on there. So, however you watch your things, I don't know if.
That's the Animal Planet logo. That's awful.
Yeah, the Animal Planet logo is fucking trash. But the problem is too, like a lot of these things.
It looks like someone bent a fucking elephant in half.
Oh yeah, they did. Like a lot of these channels that they're like advertising, like a lot of their main content is also locked behind streaming networks. So like Discovery has a lot of their good shows is locked behind Discovery Plus, and same thing with Paramount and all those. Everybody has a streaming service now, so this is just another one that I just discovered was a thing today. So what you might be wondering what you can be watching on G4 TV when it comes back. So Attack of the Show is coming back. Kevin Pereira is going to be hosting it. With a brand new cast alongside it with him. So he's going to be the only original returning to that show, it seems. Because Olivia Munn is too busy holding, what's his name's baby. X-Play is also coming back. And it's coming back with Adam Sessler. I don't know if Morgan Webb is coming back. All it says is Adam Sessler. We're getting some new shows, too. One is called Boosted. It's a weekly esports comedy series. For curious gamers and esports fanatics. So there's that. It's going to cover latest trends, news, and tournaments in the esports world every week. That's kind of cool. I'm into that. Ninja Warrior is going to be returning. So like reruns and new stuff of that. I don't have to explain Ninja Warrior. It's great. You should watch it. ESL Gaming. G4 has partnered with ESL Gaming, the world's leading esports and gaming lifestyle company, produce and broadcast several primetime esports programs. So it looks like ESL Pro Tour events are going to be on G4 TV. And then there's going to be a Dungeons & Dragons limited series coming. And I'm actually excited for this because apparently, I have to look into this. Apparently there was a one-off D&D live thing that they did that had Jack Black, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Smith, and Dr. Lupo.
That just sounds D&D. Like a mess.
It sounds like a mess, but like it's like a weird like up and down for me because I'm like, oh, Jack Black playing D&D 100%, and then it's like Tiffany Haddish. I'm like, and it's like Kevin Smith. I'm like, okay, he might take himself a little too seriously, but he might be fun. And then Dr. Lupo, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck he would do, but like he's funny. It says G4 will continue its partnership with Wizards of the Coast with an all-new limited run series premiere on G4 this fall. This series will follow 4 campaigns with a mix of G4 talent, veteran D&D players, and celebrities for a new generation of D&D fans. So that's pretty cool, actually. I'm happy about that because, like, I feel like recently, and when I say recently, I mean like in the last 2-3 years or so,
Mhm.
I feel like D&D has kind of had like this weird resurgence. Not that it went away, but I
Mhm.
feel like it's kind of spiked up in popularity recently because of things like Dropout TV. They do a bunch of D&D stuff, the Adventure Zone, and obviously the big one, Critical Role. So
Yeah.
which we'll learn more about them in one of Brandon's news topics. But yeah, so
we might, won't we?
that is all the things coming there. So if any of that tickles your pickle, you'll be able to watch it on Verizon, Comcast, or Cox. Or if you feel like spending $25 for Philo, it makes me think of Philo Dough. I'm assuming that's how you say it.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Greek. I'm with it. So yeah, you can watch it through there. But I'll wait and see. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not. G4 is cool, but like I feel like they're really trying to have lightning strike twice here, and it's just not going to happen.
I mean,
I hope it
lightning
happens.
really didn't strike the first time.
No, well, I would say that's half correct, right? Because like G4 in its time was as popular as it was going to be, right? Because like when G4 first was around, like gaming was like a thing, right? Gaming was known and was enjoyed, but like I feel like gaming nowadays has become so much bigger than it was then that like if G4 was like a new thing, maybe I feel like they're maybe like 10 years too late, like right, like G4 TV was way too early when it first came out, but now they're so late to the game because most people find their information like this just from like Twitch or YouTube shows or stuff like that. Like they're not really relevant anymore, so it's like they're like in a weird spot where like, are they needed? Do people care?
Well, I mean, here's the other thing I need to consider, and I'll just be honest because I do not know a single person that has any sort of like cable channels anymore.
No,
that is below the age of 65.
True.
My mom has cable channels, and she's not 65.
Is she like?
She's in her 40s.
My mom and dad have cable, and they're edging 65.
So the reason why she has it quite literally is she does there's shows that she wants to watch, but she doesn't want to buy the streaming services of those like 4 or 5 channels because it would equal more than just having cable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a reason to do it, I mean that's fine. But your mom's like the outlier, and she's definitely not going to be watching G4.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I mean that's my point. Like the audience they're looking for a G4. Like it's just they're not gonna get anywhere with it. They'd be much better off setting up something online where people will see it.
Yeah.
Or even teaming up with like one of the streaming services just to like hop in.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, we're on Hulu or something.
So
yeah, it's really all they needed to do. They needed to put themselves on Hulu or something.
So it looks like if I were to, because I pay for 400 megabits a month and it's $60. If I were to add TV onto that, it would be another $65 a month plus taxes, and that includes one set-top box. Just one. So something like Philo would be preferable because it's only $25 a month, and like I'm assuming any smart thing in my house can run it without an additional cable box. So like, I'm down with that. As much as I'm like, I'm probably still not gonna get it because like I never find myself like wanting to sit down and watch live TV. So like, it's cool that it's there.
Even then, $25 a month for a streaming service is nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'll try that 7-day trial. Thank you very much. And then,
yeah, I'll that's what I'll do. I'll do the 7-day trial to see if I like G4 TV.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, no, give me my credit card information back.
I don't like it. Take it back.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, no, you're right though. I think you're summed up the problem. But the problem, I think, in both cases was like when they were on the air 10 years ago, they should have been online trying to get ahead of stuff. And now that they're trying to get back online, like back on the air again, they're still in the wrong medium.
Still in the wrong medium. They're not going online.
Yeah, so very much so in the wrong medium. They are going to be making some content, they said, for like YouTube and whatnot. But like, I
recently saw an Adam Sessler review of Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
and I was very surprised at just how good and how well versed he still is.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, wow.
Good. I've always liked him.
Yeah, me too. But I was just so surprised at how well he like transitioned basically into the online medium, because he was like doing one in the name of G4 basically, and
I
in the
remember which
name of
one you're
XPlay.
talking. I remember which one you were talking. It's like that. I forget what it was called. But it was like the colors were like green and white.
Yeah, basically he was just sitting in his room at a desk, and
Yeah.
then he had like the green and white colors background from his LEDs or some shit. And
Yeah.
it was a very well informed review. It was he was very well spoken and everything. And just in general, he didn't miss a beat. And I was like, okay, so I guess they'll do things like this, like on like a YouTube channel or something, which is cool, then get some views through that, and then that's how they'll make their money and how they'll bring back G4. Nope, we're putting it on cable TV. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Oh, that's what it was. Revision 3. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
He joined Revision 3 and was the editor-in-chief and executive producer.
Oh,
of
no,
Rev
this
3
was
Games.
literally like a week ago.
Oh, well, I'm talking about Rev 3 Games. Because
I do remember that.
Rev 3 Games is what launched Max Scoville as well. So that had Adam Sessler, Max Scoville, who's now in IGN, and then the shitbag that is Nick Robinson was also on there.
That guy.
Yeah, he was on there. So
yeah.
All right, yeah, here it is. It's a 10-minute video that was just there it is. That's it. I just posted in chat. It's a really good review. It even has fucking Gerard the Completionist in it for some reason at the beginning. And I like Gerard, so
that's cool.
Yeah, but good luck, G4.
Yep.
You can do it. Maybe. Anyways, other news. Brendan.
Yeah, there was a huge Twitch leak. It was big and it was bad and it was uncut. Yeah. Have you heard about this, Mike? It's a pretty good leak.
Yeah, they leaked everything.
They sure did. They sure did.
Code, the monies.
The monies? And they also released a nice, nifty little list called Twitch's Do Not Ban list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they sure did. Two of the people who are on there are Lol Tyler 1, which the reason is do not spin. Instead, elevate all violations to blank at Twitch TV or blank at Twitch TV. And like basically, they gave community members to send the escalated violations to, and instead among the Twitch staff. So Rice Gum and Tyler 1 cannot be ever banned or suspended from Twitch TV, according to this list.
Okay.
For some reason. There are other people, but the reason on here makes sense. Like we have Geek and Sundry reason for non-gaming content, talk shows, so do not ban them because they're a talk show and they're supported by Twitch. That's basically what it says here. We got someone here who's Twitch office reason do not ban ever for underage because apparently they bring their children on sometime on the Twitch office channel, and although technically that's a bannable offense because they're the Twitch people, they're allowed to do that because fuck you, we make the rules. So there's a few people like that, but like quite literally, you got some people on here where it's like do not ban them because we said so. And two of those are Tyler 1 and Rice Gum. Rice Gum being someone who recently did the Save the Kids coin, which was a gigantic scam that was touting being a charity, but it was actually a cryptocurrency scam.
Yep.
It was supposed to be a charity to save kids, but instead it was actually like a fake charity where they sold a bunch of these coins. They gave themselves a bunch of the coins, so once the value of the coins went up after selling the coins initially, they sold all of their coins, made like 30, 40, 50 times the amount of money they originally put into the scam, and then fucking ran away with the rest of it, and all the kids and other people that bought the charity coin as a way of like supporting said charity. Yeah, all that money was dropped to like less than a penny because they sold all of their coins at once, and they made off with like hundreds of thousands of dollars by impersonating a charity. So that was neat. And that guy, for some reason, is allowed to be on the do not ever ban on Twitch list. Don't know why, but seems a little bit fishy to me. But other than that, yeah, you've got a whole bunch of people who had their amounts of money they make every year dumped onto the internet. It's just a huge, big clusterfuck.
Nice.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing from it was someone that I watch they were doing a sponsored stream with 5 other people, and the sponsored stream was them playing RuneScape. And during the sponsored stream, the guy said to one of his partners, like that he was queued up with for this sponsored stream, he said, "Hey, can you see how much gold I have right now?" And the guy goes, "No, I can't see." And he goes, "Wow, RuneScape has better security than Twitch." And I was just like, okay, all right, that's pretty good, because this guy's been getting a lot of shit since his earnings were late, apparently.
Hot
But yeah,
mess.
it's a mess. It's a hot mess right now. If you have a Twitch account, I recommend you change your password. And if you stream, I recommend you also change your stream key.
They reset all the stream keys.
Okay, good.
That seems like a smart idea.
Yep.
Anyways, what else we got news-wise, Brandon?
I thought that was all I wrote.
You said Irish singer leads
Oh yeah, this one. I wrote this one. So the other day on a radio show, an Irish singer revealed that when asked like what they're currently working on, that they're working on a music for the remake of a very popular PlayStation game that will be revealed during the holiday season. Now,
Okay.
here's the other thing that a lot of people have pointed out once this information was let out there. There's another thing that was leaked by NVIDIA a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that big NVIDIA Now leak.
Yeah. You saw the Chrono, the Chrono game, whatever it was, the Chrono remake.
The Chrono Cross remake, was it?
It was either, yeah, I think it was Chrono Cross, the Chrono Cross remake. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, Chrono Cross Remaster was mentioned in that leak.
Yeah, that leak was an update for future things that would be announced before the end of the year. So a lot of people are pointing to major PlayStation remake, Irish music, Chrono Cross.
Have Irish music in it?
If I recall correctly, there was like a town, like a specific town that had it. I'm not 100% sure.
That would be... Oh, so... Wait, that's a Celtic woodwind arrangement. Hold on. That would be a really weird game to remake, because, like, I don't think a lot of people liked it. Let me see here. Is this the song that I'm thinking of? Oh, no.
I don't know 100%, but it's the only thing that kind of matches a major PlayStation remake that we've already gotten leaks of in the first place.
Okay. So Home Termina from Chrono Cross has kind of a Celtic-y Irish feel to it, but like I don't know. That would just be a really oddball thing to remake, because like nobody ever talks about Chrono Cross. It's always Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
So like, sure, I guess.
So why not remake the worst game and make it better?
Because what's gonna happen is they're gonna remake the worst game. Nobody's gonna buy it, and like, because nobody wants Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to
You're
buy
so
fucking
right.
dickhead ass Chrono Cross to get Chrono Trigger. The wicked webs that we weave.
You know what? You're so right.
So
that was one of the ones that was pointed to possibly being the remake, and the other one was obviously Metal Gear. But
no Irish music enough.
Metal Gear.
Well, no, but you know how every single fucking Metal Gear opens up with some kind of rip-off of a James Bond song sung by some person that you've never heard of, that's going to become popular or isn't popular in some other land, and this would match the same kind of thing where it's like, all right, random popular Irish singer singing the opening to a Metal Gear Solid remake. Yeah, that makes sense.
So what they're probably pointing to, by the way, because they said it was going to be announced sometime during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
So that would be my bet for if they're announcing anything during the holidays. So, but yeah.
We will find out soon.
Yep, eventually.
The Game Awards is first week of December. It's only 2 months away.
See, That's kind of scary.
Yes,
it is.
It was funny because I was talking to my girlfriend the other day because we were talking about like what we're doing for the holidays and stuff like that, and she's like, we're not even in December yet. I was like, yes, but we're halfway through October, and before you know it, I'm putting Christmas lights up. So like, October, November, December kind of just like are a blur. And then you get to January, February, like, wow, these months have lasted years.
Yeah.
February is my birth month, so it's like, yo,
Yeah,
my birthday month gets to last like a year.
it does. So,
anyways, anything you guys else you have to talk about before we wrap up?
I am good.
No, I'm good.
All right, let's do it. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, website doublegaming.com or game-crunch.com or wherever you get your podcasts. I don't care. We're on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us. Brandon.
Yeah, what's up?
Any final thoughts?
Watch Kaiji, and then watch Squid Game, and then be like, yo, this is just Squid Game. And then realize that Kaiji was made in 2007.
But Netflix, Brandon.
What about it?
I don't know. I just grasping for straws.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Nick?
Squid Game. I think Squid Game's a good show. Really good show.
Yeah. No, it is a good show. I enjoyed it from
But,
beginning to mostly end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like the VIPs?
That was weird.
It
That
was weird.
weird. Yeah. It definitely was kind of creepy
Mm-hmm.
at a couple points.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll leave that alone now, but we'll just say, Squid Game's a good show. If you want to watch something interesting, then go watch that. But I'm pretty sure you're probably one of the 11 million people now that have already watched it, whoever's listening to this. So
Yeah, probably.
I probably don't even have to tell you to go watch it.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
Nick is like the only person who hasn't watched it in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty much.
You should watch it, Nick.
I'm just doing it out of spite now.
Bro, you like Battle Royale. Watch it.
I do. No, because then they win.
Nick, any final thoughts for you?
No.
All right. Well, that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash of Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Game.
If you guys could give me 1 minute, what's at my door is food. So
Murderer.
Yeah, murderer. I'll be right back from the murderer. Just pause for a second.
Yeah.
Goodbye, murderer.
Goodbye, murderer.
Ding, ding.
Literally after we're done tonight, I'm gonna go plug my Switch in and start playing that shit.
And then your Switch will be corrupted.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna blow up.
Or you just turn it on and it'll be like, you won.
You did it.
You
What?
beat the game.
What did you do? I did it. Oh, shit.
Sam is just like, nah, fuck this shit. You won.
I did it.
Ooh, I cannot wait to see what you think of this.